From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie. This local and regional news update is brought to you by Northway Bank. Want a Northway Bank teller to keep in your pocket? There's an app for that, now available for iPhone and Android. Download yours today. Northway Bank with 17 locations throughout New Hampshire. The people you know, the bank you trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. A New Hampshire Fish and Game officer has released details about the more than 2-day search and rescue mission that ended successfully Tuesday night when a missing 18-year-old woman was found by a hiker on Green Mountain in Effingham. Conservation Officer Mike Matson says a major break in the search for Joelle Furstenberg came from a hunter Tuesday afternoon.
A hunter had located her by his game camera. He had checked his game camera, and when he did so, it revealed that Joelle had actually passed by his game camera on Sunday afternoon, which meant that she was still in the area, so we were able to focus on the mountain.
Furstenberg had walked away from the Lakeview Neuro Rehabilitation Center in Effingham Sunday afternoon around 2 o'clock, wearing only pajamas and socks. Matson says the area where she was found around 6:30 Tuesday night was about 2 miles away from Lakeview. After being found, a paramedic gave her first aid as she was wet and suffering from hypothermia. It took rescuers a few hours to evacuate her off the mountain, and she was then taken to a hospital. Matson says the hunter's photo gave rescuers confidence to continue the search that included a massive grid area of mountainous terrain with a lot of lakes. And he praises the numerous firefighters, police officers, conservation officers, and volunteers, about 60 in all, who didn't give up the search. Here he is speaking yesterday.
Really terrific, because on Monday, the conditions were such that anybody could come out. It was basically a hike in the woods overall, even though you still had steep terrain and marsh that people were walking through. Yesterday, it was cold, soaking wet conditions. People were going out searching when they were already completely soaked, wringing out their socks, putting their boots back on, and just heading out.
Matson says Furstenberg had been wearing a monitoring device, but searchers were not able to detect it, despite hours searching from the air and flights provided by the Civil Air Patrol's New Hampshire wing and a New Hampshire State Police helicopter. Freiburg Police Chief Phil Weymouth says he will conduct an internal assessment of his department to determine its strengths and areas that can be improved after Tuesday's vote about his department in Freiburg. Here's what some voters had to say about the question of whether to keep the Freiburg Police Department.
No, I think it's a waste of taxpayers' money. I think between Oxford County and the Maine State Police, yes, because taxes keep going up every time. It has to do with the police department.
I favor keeping it, but I would like to see them more present in a positive way in our community. I like local police, but I want them to know us. I feel like right now they're just dealing with the negative side, and we don't ever know on the positive side what they're doing. Community safety and security and education, I think those are the kind of things I'm interested in seeing more of.
Voters rejected disbanding the local department, with 393 people voting to disband and 513 voting against. Weymouth says he's glad the department prevailed because it means his officers, who have families and children, will keep their jobs. But he says he's not ignoring the 393 people who voted to disband his department.
Now my goal is to find out what is wrong. And I've already been around. I've been talking to people just out of the blue. Don't even know who they are. Or I may know them, but I don't know if they supported us or not. And I've started talking to them and saying, if there's one thing you could change, what would it be? I felt we were going to prevail, no problem at all. I didn't expect the numbers to be as high on the get rid of us side. That's hard to say what that's from, but it doesn't matter. The point is, there was 393 people out there that voted to go away from us, and now my goal is to work with my officers, and we've all agreed to find out what we can do that is better.
About 30% of registered voters in Freiburg turned out to vote on Tuesday. In sports, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats were down 4 runs but rallied in the bottom of the 9th last night in Manchester to get a dramatic 9-8 come-from-behind win over the Akron Arrows. The Erie Seawolves swept 2 games of a doubleheader from Portland yesterday in Portland, beating the Sea Dogs 3-2 in the first game and 1-0 in the nightcap. The Chicago Blackhawks beat the Boston Bruins 4-3 last night in triple overtime in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Red Sox beat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1 last night. The Revs beat the New York Red Bulls 4-2 last night on the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup. The Connecticut Sun beat the Indiana Fever 73-61. In the weather today, partly sunny, a slight chance of showers this afternoon. Highs in the lower 70s, around 70 in southern Carroll County with light winds. Cloudy tonight with a chance of showers, lows in the upper 40s, around 50 in southern Carroll County with light winds. And mostly cloudy Friday with a chance of showers, a chance of thunderstorms in the afternoon, highs in the lower 70s. From the Northway Bank Online Newsroom, I'm Gare McKenzie.